I don't want to record for a gazillion years today, so I am going to read you my post-its, and then that'll probably be it. Ready? Wu Wei. The path of least resistance. Water. Effortless action, non-doing. I observe myself going through existence. Feng Shui, acupuncture, Tai Chi Do. These are all different things that are derived from Taoism that I thought could be beneficial to look into or learn more about. You have a very vivid imagination. You are catastrophizing. I love your imagination. You are a very tragic storyteller. Everyone has a lot of pain going on inside. Reduced desire. Sitting with Mowgli makes me happy. Go to this often. Either mentally or actually physically go and sit with Mowgli. I have Jesus in me. What are the chances that I would ever even be born? Wow! Every moment that I spend with myself is sacred, precious, and Every moment that I spend with myself is sacred, precious, and blessed. Don't be afraid of the darkness. Trust my intuition. Do whatever it is that feels right and don't be afraid. Notice and listen to the music of the world. The idea of talking to a potential employer is a trigger. It triggered my social anxiety. If you desire to be you, but craving is harmful, but to desire to be yourself is not, because that is all you could ever actually desire without it being a destructive longing. I desire to be me. And that's it. Now I guess I will play a little bit of some stuff that I recorded today from when I was observing some ants. So I'm sitting here at lunch, out in the desert, watching. I sat next to a bunch of ants, like just hundreds of ants, and they're coming in and out of their big old house, and I'm watching them, and I had this kind of deep, spontaneous realization about, because I was giving them crackers and breadcrumbs, and they're coming over here and taking the breadcrumbs and taking them back to their house, and oh look, one's got a little piece of some goat cheese. He's carrying it back. But I'm seeing them all coming out of their house and walking back, carrying all sorts of things. And these little ants, they do this every day. I guess all day. And their colony started out small at some point, and then it's just grown and grown and grown the more they do it. And they're keeping themselves alive and continuing the population of the ants. So taking it back to nourish the babies and to also nourish the rest of the colony. But for what? Just so they can keep it alive, but and ultimately they're gonna die. The ants who are coming out and bringing back cheese and breadcrumbs and cracker pieces, they're eventually not gonna be alive anymore, but the young ones that they're raising will be alive, and then their colony will continue to thrive. It's just an interesting concept. To do the same thing over and over just to stay alive and to keep your colony alive. And so we eat every day just to stay alive. We go to work every day just to stay alive. And well, we also go to work too to be able to make money to have fun. But the ants have to work together to keep the colony functioning, to keep their ant home underground functioning. And they all feed each other. Like, the ants don't just come over and just start eating a cracker crumb. They taste a bite and then they just take it back. But they don't just stay here. Now, I have seen ants just stay in one place and just eat, but not these guys. It's just an interesting thought that these ants are doing the same thing over and over. Just to stay alive. And the whole reason why they're doing it is to stay alive. But what then? Okay, so you stay alive. And then what? Is there anything else besides just staying alive? I don't know. It seems like that's the main focus of these little ants. It's interesting that creatures and people and maybe plants that we all fight so much to stay alive, and we do whatever it takes to stay alive, but only because our consciousness is within ourselves and it's not out of ourselves. But maybe the consciousness of ants is out of themselves because they do all this to stay alive, yes, but for the future, for the little babies, just like a mother caring for the babies, their babies, they just put their children first. It's just weird. So it is by putting another life before yours and making that a priority. Is that a greater consciousness? Because you're not fighting for you to stay alive. You're fighting for something else to stay alive. Or someone else to stay alive. But either way, I'm glad to have sat here with these ants and watched them and given them a little bit of food. You can learn a lot from just sitting and watching. Not sure what I've learned, but I've thought some things. And thinking is a part of staying alive, I guess. So that is what I was sitting thinking of. Staying alive. Stay in the lab. Oh, oh.